Hello, everyone, and welcome to the brand new show this semester, Cougar Crypto Report. I am your co-host, Tiana, and joining me on the show is my fellow Coug co-host.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm your other co-host of the Cougar Crypto Report. Hope everyone is doing well and taking care. This show is going to be a little different from past year's shows.
Michael is right. On this show, we will introduce you guys to the fast-growing world of cryptocurrency. We will try our best to explain crypto in a super easy-to-understand way.
We know where you're probably thinking, what in the world is a cryptocurrency and why should I care?
After we talk about what exactly a cryptocurrency is, we will get into some of the important terminology to know, as well as the pros and cons.
Well, let's get this show on the road. First, we will start from the very beginning. What in the world is a cryptocurrency?
Cryptocurrency, by definition, is a digital or virtual currency designed to work as a medium of exchange. This is similar to how we use the US dollar as our medium of exchange.
The difference between a fiat currency and a cryptocurrency is that there is a third party in charge of your funds with fiat. Fiat currency is government-issued currency that is not backed by anything and only has value because the government maintains its value. For example, like US dollars, the euro, or any other type of currency used around the world. What does the third party mean? This means institutions like federal banks and government systems that are in control of your money and the economy as a whole.
One issue that we will see happen with fiat currency is hyperinflation. As governments print more money, the value of goods will increase dramatically, while the value of currency decreases.
Cryptocurrencies don't have any central authority controlling them and instead are decentralized, encrypted, and digital. This means no bank or no government can intervene or maintain the value of cryptos. So who the heck maintains all the tasks that banks usually do, like verifying transactions?
Well, before we get into that, cryptocurrency uses cryptography to securely communicate data within a certain amount of parties. According to Investopedia, cryptography methods use advanced mathematical codes to store and transmit data in a secure way. It is supposed to guarantee the security of transactions, its users, protect from double spending, and is independent from central authority figures like banks and governments.
Cryptography makes sure that the data being transmitted is only for the intended people it's for, so nobody else can receive or look at what's being passed on. No snoopers around here, that's for sure. The communication and transactions between the two parties are secure, and these transactions are verified and recorded in what's called a blockchain.
Now onto the blockchain. What is it and what does it mean? A blockchain acts as a public ledger, which records all transactions ever made by anyone and is public to everyone, even you and I. Anybody has access to this information with just an internet connection. The transactions that take place on the blockchain are verified by the blockchain's users, which is people like us, instead of a central authority figure like a bank or government. This ensures transparency for the public, just to make sure nothing fishy pops up.
Now, this doesn't mean that anybody can see exactly who sends what, because everybody's identity is protected by the cryptography. Everybody's private information is also protected. Instead, this just means that anybody can see what goes where. So even if you don't know exactly who sent what, you can see on the blockchain what transactions have been made on the network. For example, if I were to send a certain amount of crypto to Tiana, everybody on the blockchain can see how much was sent to Tiana. However, they can't see her identity nor mine, just the respective wallet addresses where the crypto is being stored at.
Now, at this point, you might be asking yourself, why would anybody want to stick around verifying transactions all the time? These people who are verifying transactions on the blockchain are called miners. Miners are the ones who solve cryptographic puzzles on the blockchain, verifying transactions.
After miners complete these difficult puzzles or verify a transaction, they get rewarded themselves with cryptocurrency. This is the process of mining. However, the catch is that you have to be the first computer to solve this problem in order to get the reward. There is another catch. The puzzles also constantly get more difficult because of new users constantly entering the market. After this, a majority of the blockchain then has to come to a consensus and check your transaction. This crypto reward is one of the main driving forces in why there are large groups of miners scattered across the world.
Miners are the single most important of a blockchain network because they essentially provide a bookkeeping for the whole blockchain. allowing everyone to see what is going where, and also preventing fraud from happening. For fraud to happen, a hacker would need to get more than half of the blockchain's users to get the same fraudulent version for them to successfully hack the ledger. This would take a rather large amount of resources, making fraud very unlikely.
Man, oh man, was that a lot of things you've never heard before or what? That was a lot of information, and it'll be hard to remember everything, so here are your main takeaways. Number one, cryptocurrency is still a relatively new commodity. People right now use these as an alternative to investing in stocks. If you're going to invest, do your own research on everything. We're not financial advisors, just college students here. Number two, cryptos are decentralized and do not need a third party or central authority figure, which means no bank or government can manipulate their network. And number three, cryptocurrencies use certain elements of cryptography and blockchain technology in order to process transactions and prevent any type of fraud.
Now that we have a little of the basics down, we can look back at where and how this concept was introduced. Back in the good old 90s, there were several attempts at making digital currencies. However, the companies behind these were either third parties, fraud companies, or ran into financial problems, so nothing ever came of it.
That is until the legend of Satoshi Nakamoto emerged. Nakamoto is the alias of an anonymous programmer or group of programmers who first introduced Bitcoin to the world. With Bitcoin, Nakamoto described it at the time as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, essentially cutting out the middleman of transactions. Nakamoto said it's completely decentralized, as we already went over, and it uses no servers and closely resembles a peer-to-peer networks for file sharing.
Some concerns have been brought up in recent years considering cryptocurrencies' decentralized nature and their ability to be used pretty much anonymously. Authorities and institutions all over the world are worried of the appeal to users of illegal goods and services.
Which to me is quite something, considering banks all over the world account for most of the money laundering that occurs nowadays, knowingly or unknowingly. Money is already used for illegal goods and services through the system that is in place now. This new system would just add transparency to that, which some institutions might not want for the public.
Bitcoin was introduced by Nakamoto in 2009 and was the first cryptocurrency to start it all. Nowadays, there are more than 5,000 different cryptocurrencies, all with different use cases. Laws concerning cryptos vary drastically by location, with a few countries even outright banning cryptocurrencies.
We won't get too much into Bitcoin on this episode. We'll save most of that stuff for the next episode. But Bitcoin has the potential to completely revamp how we think of doing financial things. Bitcoin paved the way for cryptos to eventually take over as a currency we will use in the future. Bitcoin and cryptos are only getting started, but buckle up because it's going to be quite the bumpy ride.
To wrap the show up, we will end on what we think some of the pros and cons of cryptocurrency are. First, we will start with the pros. Number one is that since cryptos in general are very new, many investors see huge potential for returns on their investment. At a $1,000 investment in Bitcoin in 2013 is well over $500,000 now. That is just for one crypto. Obviously, not every coin will have the same growth, but the potential is there. Second, and perhaps the biggest reason why crypto might be adopted in the future, is that cryptos offer transparency that not even the financial institutions in place today offer. The third advantage we thought of was the accessibility they offer. Anybody with a smartphone or anybody with a laptop and internet connection could get involved with cryptocurrency.
Next, the disadvantages. I was going to say there are none, but that would be incorrect. The biggest disadvantage of cryptocurrencies are that they can be really difficult to comprehend. I mean, in my case, I know I get all this information and my head just starts spinning. It can be especially challenging for the less tech-savvy users. This is perhaps the biggest challenge to large-scale adoption. Another disadvantage that comes with all the new technology are people who try to use other people's inexperience with that technology to scam them out of their money. These are usually easy to spot. However, with the market growing bigger every day, you need to be very careful and never send your money to anyone over the internet. I feel like this is common sense, but you will not see that money back.
So, there you have it, folks. That was episode 1 of Cougar Crypto Report. We introduced what cryptocurrencies are, how and by who they were introduced by. We also tried our best to explain what technology is being used for cryptos and the pros and cons of the cryptos themselves. Finally, we got a little bit into Bitcoin, but we will do a deeper dive into that on the next episode of Cougar Crypto Report. This was just an introduction to some of the basic things surrounding cryptocurrency. We will see you next time on Cougar Crypto Report when we dive into Bitcoin. I'm your co-host, Tiana.
And I'm your second co-host, Michael. Thank you everybody for joining us and sticking all the way through. CCR out.